Baseball tonight. Sunday Night Countdown is presented by Chevrolet. Well, just as we had expected, Mark Mulder, Manny Actam, Adnan Virk, Orioles, Royals. We were saying that all year long. Expect those two teams in the American League Championship Series. Okay, we mock a little bit, but how many of you thought we'd see Baltimore and Kansas City? Let's see how it came to be. First off, the Angels and the Royals in Game 3. There's Big Game James on the mound. Mike Trout 0-8 so far this postseason. Clearly the crowd was fired up there at Kauffman Stadium. Trout's first at bat. All right, first hit of the postseason. We're good to go.
And he gives them exactly what they need. Let's get a lead early, guys, and let's try and run with it. Just didn't quite work that way.
That's because the Royals came right back in the bottom of the first, Manny, off of C.J. Wilson.
Yeah, Oakland just continue to be on fire, just spreading the ball all over the field.
Lorenzo Cain then slapping a base hit off of Wilson. And then two batters later, he'll walk Billy Butler, load the bases.
Well, and the inconsistency of C.J. Wilson caught up to him. He struggled down the stretch. His second to last start of the season only went 2/3 of an inning.
You've called games with him this year and said the key is throwing strikes. Well, here, Alex Gordon deposits that. The Royals are up 3-1. He got pulled after 2/3 of an inning.
This is very disappointing, especially because he matches up well with the Royals because they're not a very good patient team. He pitched a good game against Seattle because of that, but the majority of the time when the teams are patient, he struggles, and these guys hit him around.
Bottom of the third, one on for Eric Hosmer. Deep off of Hector Santiago.
I will say this, Hosmer didn't have exactly the best season, but I love how big he's swinging. And I don't mean big by long and around the ball. I mean taking big hacks, trying to do damage each and every swing.
That was high and outside. He just powered that the other way.
This is the way he looked when he first came up to the big leagues. He was fearless at the plate, and he really caused fear to the opposition.
Top of the fourth, the Angels looking to answer. So Trout stepped up, and there's Pujols going deep. That's off of James Shields, the home run. Angels now down 5-2, but bottom of the fourth, the Royals answer, and it's Mike Moustakas. Speaking of not having a great regular season, but stepping up now.
That's the point of this, is it doesn't matter anymore how bad your regular season was. It's all about playoff baseball, and they are coming through.
And top of the fifth, how about Lorenzo Cain robbing Pujols?
He did this the whole season for them, and their outfielder was outstanding. 4 guys that can really go get them, that they rotate on an everyday basis.
And then Howie Kendrick, the line to the center. Hey, how about this for a second?
And this is deflating. The Angels are trying to come back. It's still a ball game. They have guys on base, and to have 2 base hits robbed like that crushes you.
Let's hug it out. Top of the ninth.
The bro hug.
Who's pumped up? George Brett is fired up. Mr. Royal. They're 1 strike away from advancing, and Greg Holland. Hey, Gregor. He gets Trout to end the game. The Kansas City Royals sweep the Angels, who had the most victories in the American League this season. How about a backflip from Gerard Dyson?
Must be fun to jump like that. Give me 2.
Pop some champagne, Manny.
Yeah, celebrate. They deserve it. It's a short series. They pitched well, they cut the ball, and they kept themselves in the game every single game, so they were able to come up with a big hit. And every contribution was from guys from their own farm system, which is great.
First postseason series sweep since the 1980 ALCS against the Yankees. The Royals have won 7 straight postseason games dating back to Game 5 of the '85 World Series. The last time, of course, they were in the postseason. Let's hear from Big Game James.
We've been answering the bell every night. Every night we've been answering the bell, and our guys, they never give up. They never give up. I'm so proud of the guys. We got a lot of characteristics in this clubhouse and a lot of heart, man. So it's a good feeling.
We're just clicking on all cylinders at the right time right now. You know, our pitching and defense has been there all year, and now, you know, our hitters are starting to come around. So it's a good thing to see, and we did it at the right time.
We got that confidence in there that we can do this. And, you know, when you got a whole city behind you that believes in you and a group of guys that are playing all together and believe we can do this, it makes it a lot of fun. And, you know, we've been coming in here battling, and, you know, we're taking it game by game, and we're doing a pretty good job of that right now.
A lot of fun, except for Pedro Gomez. First he had an eye infection, now he's going to get a new coat. All that rain's killing him. Well, the Royals look like a different team offensively in the postseason, averaging 6 runs per game in the playoffs, 50% better than their regular season average, hitting .333 with runners in scoring position and hitting home runs twice as often as they did in the regular season. They teed off against C.J. Wilson. Let's hear what the Angels manager Mike Scioscia had to say.
I thought his stuff looked okay. I mean, CJ's stuff looked good. It just looked like just being able to finish some hitters off was an issue. And I think he was behind, he was behind too many counts, and it ended up hurting him in that first inning. And, as we talked about before, there's not a long leash pitchers are going to have in a situation when it's an elimination game. And unfortunately, we had to match up and try to get out of that first inning, and that was the night for CJ.
At the risk of stating the obvious, clearly Socha didn't want to tee off on a guy. He's still got 2 more years, right, Manny?
Yeah, I've been there, done that. You have to protect your guys.
Wilson's the first starting pitcher since Gil Heredia in the 2000 ALDS, who could not make it out of the first inning with his team facing elimination. Overall, he's the 8th pitcher ever to last less than an inning and take the loss to his team facing elimination. Mark Mulder could talk all about Gil Heredia. Instead, we'll ask you about that first inning at bat, Wilson versus Gordon.
Well, this at bat, I'm watching this on TV, and you see the 1-1 count, and C.J. Wilson throws a great inside fastball sinker. You see the defensive swing that Gordon takes. Now the 1-2, trying to strike him out. He throws a slider. Look at Gordon diving out over the plate, looking for something away, but because it wasn't close, he didn't offer at it. The very next pitch, I wanted C.J. to go back inside. Another slider, and Gordon is waiting on it, drives it the opposite field for the big double that really just set the tone for this game. And the one thing is lots of times the catcher will see what the hitter's doing in the box and seeing that he's diving out over. But because that slider was so far away, Ionetta's trying to block it, and he possibly didn't notice it.
Huge disappointment from the Angels and C.J. Wilson. But for the Royals, Manny, if you love old school baseball, guys stealing bases and guys playing great defense, then KC is the team for you.
You have to love that team. Pitching and defense would always help you win. If you pitch and you catch a ball, you always stay close, and then you'll have guys that probably struggled the whole season, but have come up bigs during the playoff, like Moustakas and Hosmer and any of those guys. So the defense really helped them throughout this. Look, this is a potential extra bases. This one, Lorenzo Cain, outstanding. They have 3 guys that can play center field in the outfield. Gordon is a Gold Glover over there. Aoki is a former center fielder in Japan. And look at the play by Dyson earlier in the series, just outstanding. He's a guy that they bring in later in the game and move this guy to right field. That's insane, and that's how good of a defense they have back there.
Still cannot believe that Cain catch. The closing speed to get that ball as it's dropping.
Well, we were watching it, and we're like, oh, there's a blue pit, and here he comes and just lays out. You're like, you got to be kidding me.
Sal Perez, by the way, fired up with the fans there in Kansas City. If you don't think the players appreciate what is going on right now. Unfortunately, for many people, the new face of baseball with Derek Jeter retiring is going to be Mike Trout. Trout, his first postseason experience, just 3 games. Here's what he had to say about it.
The experience was, with the atmosphere and everything, it's, above and beyond what it was expected, but, losing 3 games right out of the chute, that's not what we planned to do. But, it sucks, for sure.
Well, certainly, we were looking forward to seeing this young man on the big stage, and unfortunately for him, not able to deliver. Although, in terms of the youngest player of the postseason home run in Angels franchise history, 23 years, 60 days, besting Dickie Schofield, Wally Joyner, and Troy Glaus in the 2002 ALDS. All right, that was the story of the Guards, the Angels, and Royals. Still to come here on Baseball Tonight's Sunday Night Countdown. We'll discuss what happened with the Orioles and the Tigers, how Baltimore used the big bat of Nelson Cruz to secure a spot in the ALCS. Baseball Tonight's Sunday Night Countdown is presented by Chevrolet. Find new roads, and in part by the new Dollar Cravings menu at Taco Bell. Live Moss.
This silver dollar has been in our family for generations. I had it with me the night I won the heart of your grandmother. Wait, that was Chrissy Redfern. Don't tell Nana. It even saved my life from a nail gun in the great construction riots. And now, I want you to... Never mind.
No dollar is safe. The new Dollar Cravings menu. 11 craveable creations, each for $1.
Crowd's starting to sense it. This is big boy baseball here.
Champagne for everybody.
Unbelievable.
Playing for the Mob, Tuesday at 9 on ESPN.
Baseball Tonight's Sunday Night Countdown is presented by Chevrolet. Find new roads. We have talked throughout the show about the defense of the Kansas City Royals, and we'll highlight it here in our web gem of the night. Lorenzo Cain of the Kansas City Royals. This is a ridiculous catch to Rob Albert Pujols.
Well, watching this, you think there's no chance he's actually getting there. I didn't realize Albert kind of hit it a little harder. I thought it was going to bloop in there, but the ground that he covers, I mean, it's so quick. That was an unbelievable play.
Top web gem on this night. Manny, let's give a little love to Buck Showalter and the job he's done with the Baltimore.
He's been outstanding the whole season. He lost 3 of his best players. Wieters, which is a quarterback of the team. Davis, he lost Machado. His closer flamed out at the beginning of the season. He had to fabricate a closer in the whole bullpen. He's been outstanding, and he has shown here during the playoff when some guys have made some questionable decisions. He's been a star.
Kansas City Royals. I mean, good for them, man. A lot of these guys struggle during the season, and they are awesome.
I tell you what, I don't know if they're going to make the World Series, but we're going to find out. For Mark Mulder, Manny Acta, I'm Adnan Burke. We'll see you at midnight Eastern.
For 6 months, you're comforted by the fact that there will be a tomorrow. But this is October. Now, there is no tomorrow.
In time, double play. Got him! Swinging!
October is all about the moments.
A 3-run triple. Fair ball gone. Oh, and he made the grab.
You want to be one of baseball's best? Don't run from this moment. Embrace it.
All right, Mark, back with Mark Mulder. I want to ask you about C.J. Wilson, that decision to pull him. But first, let's take a look at the highlight. We'll ask him about C.J. Wilson and then, of course, that great defense by the Royals as well. All right, here we go. James Shields on the hill. So far, Mike Trout 0 for 8 in this postseason. Top of the first at-bat, Trout. Ooh, gets that fat. He loves that inner half fastball.
Well, exactly what the Angels needed to do. Let's jump out on top. Let's get a lead and go from there.
First hit of the postseason, but bottom of the first. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Still 1-0 Angels. Outside corner breaking ball. Boy, Alex Gordon got the fat part of the bat on that one and clears the base.
All of September, Alex Gordon came up with numerous big hits, go-ahead hits, game-tying hits, and here's another one.
He really is the soul of this team from an offensive standpoint. And C.J. Wilson is gone after 2/3 of an inning to the third. A lot of people thought Eric Hosmer would be kind of superstar status. Hasn't translated yet in the regular season. He's a great defensive first baseman, and he's centered that one.
Well, more than anything in this playoffs, I'm seeing a bigger swing. Not a bigger swing, long swing, but a more aggressive swing. He's trying to do damage each and every time he's at the plate, and there's nothing wrong with that when you're going good.
He's posting up there like Mulder on a par 5. 5-1 Royals. Albert Pujols in the house. Albert Pujols out of the house.
Well, Albert, I mean, he comes up with big hits, and this was, they just wish there were more guys on base when that happened.
Yeah. One of my favorite things in sports right now is watching Lorenzo Cain play center field. Holy mackerel, look how long he is.
Well, we're watching that in the green room, and we're going, oh, there's a blue pit. And he closed the ground so quickly, and you see Cole Calhoun, he's waiting for an umpire to make a call.
Yeah, it was a good catch. He wanted an earlier call, and there he is again, that length, that anticipation, and speed, and there's that intensity that Mark talked about with this team. Shields tipping his cap to his teammate, and he bro hug as well. Here's the final out of the game. Mike Trout could not get that one from Greg Holland, and the Royals have swept the Angels. Great celebration. What a week in Kansas City from the Chiefs earlier in the week. They did lose today to the Niners, but the Royals all week long. George Brett watching. He couldn't go to Ole Miss to watch the Ole Miss-Alabama game. As a child that goes to Ole Miss, wife was there. Look at Jared Dyson with the backflip, Ozzie Smith style. Give him 2. And the Royals will meet the Baltimore Orioles in the ALCS. Looks like that series will begin on Friday, Mark, between those two teams. Before I get to that, back to C.J. Wilson. What does it tell you that Mike Scioscia would pull Wilson after just 2 outs?
Well, C.J. struggled a little down the stretch. Okay. His last couple starts were not good. 2 starts from his second to last start of the regular season, he only went 2/3 of an inning. So, as you heard Scioscia say, in an elimination game, he's going to have a short leash. And in this at-bat against Alex Gordon, you see him go with a sinker in there 1-1, which I love that pitch. That gets to, now watch Alex Gordon's reaction here. He's diving out over the plate because he's betting on the fact C.J. Wilson is not going to come back inside, but that pitch wasn't close. So what's the very next pitch? Another slider away. Alex Gordon leaning out over the plate, drives it the other way, and that pretty much was the game right there. And when I was watching this game in the first inning, I'm saying that go back in, go back in, because you could see on that take, and maybe Ionetta didn't see that take because that ball was so far outside, he was worried about blocking it. Because lots of times the catchers will pick up on that.
That's a good point. I thought it was a good pitch, or not a bad pitch, but you're right. He was clearly leaning over the plate and made it almost right down the middle. Again, Royals defense, what can you add? We saw some great examples.
Well, those outfielders, they've made plays throughout this entire series, and as I said, it's crushing for an offense who's trying to score runs, who's struggling. When you're putting good at-bats together, hitting line drives, hitting the ball to the warning track. Kane made a few catches. Dyson made a great throw from center field to throw out Cowgill at left field. Aoki taking some bad routes, but the point is he made them. And you see the defensive run saves. 3 of their outfielders were in the top 9 this year.
Wow.
And the ones from Kane today, both of those catches closing ground so quickly, just crushed the Angels.
Royals, Orioles, ALCS, looks like it begins Friday. Compare these two teams. What's your first hunch?
Well, as I said, both hot. They're both playing very well. I think it's funny, when I look at starting pitching or defense, they're very similar. They both have great bullpens. And I know it's not on the field, but the Buck Showalter factor might just come into play. I mean, everything he's done has worked out for the Orioles. Ned Yost has made some iffy decisions here or there, but his players have picked him up. So we're going to see what's going to happen here. But like I said, they're both hot, and that's the thing that makes it tough to pick.
That is an interesting narrative here, is that many people feel Ned Yost maybe had a rabbit's foot to some of the decisions he made. They came out okay, where Buck Showalter puts the winning run. He puts the winning run on base in the 9th inning today because he felt he saw something he liked in terms of matchup. He's looked at as a guy whose bullpen management is without question maybe the best in the game. This is going to be an interesting narrative early on in the series.
And when I said that, if you look at starting pitching, I would probably take the Royals starting pitching. If you look at bullpen, I would probably take the Royals bullpen.
I agree.
Offense is both hot. I think Baltimore has way more power. But in the series, you go, there's so many advantages to the Royals. But I think Baltimore's the better team. That's why this is going to be so good.
Yeah, the Orioles do have a home field advantage. Again, now we're back into best out of 7. Does that change anything from best out of 5 to best out of 7?
I don't really think so, because these aren't the pitching staffs. They have a bunch of 2s and 3s and 4s. These aren't the dominant pitching staffs that we looked at maybe with the Detroit and some of the other teams.
All right, so it's Buck Showalter up against Ned Yost in terms of a managerial matchup. Let's go back to Kansas City. The winning manager, Ned Yost. Some controversy, but he's going to the ALCS.
Wade Davis and Holly to close it out. And we got some offense tonight. We had some breathing room, but that's how we drew it up.
Not just tonight, but the 2 11th inning home runs in Anaheim. How big was the power hitting that you might not have forecast?
Well, it was huge. Won us 2 games. Coming into this game, we were hitting 162 as a team. They were hitting 141. But the difference were the 2 big home runs. That gave us the edge. Tonight, the power was huge again. Haas with another monster shot to left center field. Moose with a beautiful home run to right field. But Gordy's double in the first inning was as big as both of those right there. You go ahead, you take the lead after, Trout hit the home run. You take the lead, and then your whole mindset is let's tack on. And we did a great job of tacking on runs tonight, too, to, keep the pressure on them.
Following that up, Socha said he thought when you guys got pitches to hit, you hit them, and his guys missed a couple, especially early. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And that's normally the difference in the game. When we're struggling, we're getting pitches to hit, but we're fouling them back or popping them up. We centered some balls up today. We got pitches to hit, and we hit them. We didn't miss them. And that's what you have to do when you get in these types of environments, these types of situations, playoff-type atmosphere. You can't miss a mistake, and we did a good job of not.
In front on the left.
Ned, how different do you think this game could have been if Lorenzo Cain doesn't make those 2 catches out in center field?
It'd definitely be different. Both of those plays were phenomenal plays. The first play, I didn't see any way that he could make that play. I mean, I didn't. When the ball was hit, I'm thinking, okay, that ball's a base hit. And he came out of nowhere like Superman and caught it. The next play was a little bit easier, but it was still every bit as pretty, if you will, you know, the way that he caught the ball. But, you know, he's a phenomenal center fielder, got tremendous athleticism, he's got tremendous speed, and he gets great jumps on balls because he reads them, you know, right off the bat.
On the right.
Ned, what do you make of that each game is in the postseason, including the wild card game, Perez, that the game-winning or the go-ahead run was driven in by a homegrown player?
By a what?
A homegrown player, somebody that you guys originally drafted or signed.
Yeah, oh, no, homegrown player was huge for us. You know, it was I told the boys with about a week to go, look, some of you guys haven't had years that you really wanted to have, but we get to the playoffs, nobody's going to remember that. And we've gotten to the playoffs now. Mike Moustakas, Eric Hosmer, these kids are all stepping up big time and putting us in the position that we're in now. I mean, we're going to go to Baltimore and fight for the American League. I mean, there's 2 teams left standing, and it's going to be a great series. Both teams coming in with a lot of momentum. Both teams, very, very good baseball teams. It's going to be a great series.
In front of
Ned, defense played such a huge role in this, so did speed. How much of a kick did you get out of Billy stolen base tonight?
Well, a little bit, yeah. You know, it was just, you know, we try to pick spots that we feel like we've got a high percentage chance of stealing bases. And that was a spot where, yeah, I mean, it's only natural not to pay attention to Billy at first base, you know. But it just kind of shows the character of our team a little bit, you know. Everybody gets after it.
Mark?
Ned, as confident as you guys were coming into this series after the win over Oakland, would you have ever predicted a sweep or envisioned a scenario where you guys come in and sweep the 98 win Angels?
No. That's a tremendous baseball team over there. They have tremendous power. They're a tremendous offensive club with great pitching. Their bullpen's very solid. If you would have given me the choice to go to Anaheim and come out of there 1-1, I think I might have taken it, you know. But it just shows that our team, you know, stepped up at the right time. Everybody is so I mean, I've never seen these group of kids so confident on the big stage. It's really fun to see their development and watch them come into the postseason and just really take their game to the next level.
TR?
You had, excuse me.
Welcome back in. If you just turned over, John Butchergrass and Mark Mulder talking baseball here, talking about the Royals advancing to the ALCS. Big hit by Alex Gordon. Mark broke it down. Here's Alex with Pedro Gomez.
Alex Gordon, you're not even wet with champagne yet, but the rain obviously. What has made this club so special to get to this point?
We're just clicking on all cylinders at the right time right now. You know, our pitching and defense has been there all year, and now, you know, our hitters are starting to come around. So it's a good thing to see, and we did it at the right time.
Trout comes up with the home run in the top of the first. You come back with a 3-run shot, a 3-run double in the bottom of the inning. Take us through that at bat.
Just got 2 strikes, trying to make something happen, had the bases loaded. Anytime a team scores, you want to respond, and, you know, that's what we did. So it was a key moment in the game and really got the crowd even more into it than it was. So it was a big hit.
Emotionally, what was it like to see their starting pitcher leave before the first inning was over?
Anytime you can get your starter out in the first, that's great. So in the playoffs, you got to do whatever you can do, and that's what they try to do. But, you know, up and down the lineup, everyone had a good approach and put some good at-bats together today.
All right, now the Orioles. What do they present for you guys?
Tough team, you know, kind of similar to us. Great pitching, great defense, and, you know, they got some good hitters. So it's going to be a challenge, and, you know, we like our chances right now, so it's going to be a battle.
Alex, congratulations. John, back up to you.
Thanks. They're not really similar at all. The Orioles hit tons of home runs. The Royals normally don't. But he came up as a third baseman. You mentioned he thought he was going to be the next George Brett. Moves to left field. And my question to you is kind of interesting. Now, I look at the Orioles bullpen with Miller and Britton. Those are 2 lefties. And some of their key hitters on this team, Hosmer and Gordon, they're going to see some tough matchups in the middle to late innings.
They really are. And those are 2 of the tougher ones. Britton with that power sinker that we see at 96, 97, and Andrew Miller, we saw him tonight in that game. I mean, 87-mile-an-hour breaking balls underneath the right-hander's hands. Lefties really don't have much of a chance against him with a mid-90s fastball.
So again, Alex Gordon with that lean over the plate, opposite field base hit. You must have faced him as when he was a youngster?
I might have, but I was hurt my last few years in St. Louis. But he's become the leader of this team. He's been there a while now. He's been through all the disappointment, and it's fun to see just how good he's gotten over these years.
All right, so again, it's ALCS time. Baltimore and Kansas City. That series will open up on Friday. Baltimore has the home field advantage. Mark Mulder, thank you.
Thank you.
More to come on this Sports Center. Talking more baseball as the Royals and the Orioles clinch on the same day. George Brett can't believe it. One step away from a World Series. Give me 2 backflips. There were. Ned Yost survives. Royals move on in the playoffs. What a playoffs it's been.
Welcome back to Sports Center, presented by Xbox One.
Welcome back to Sports Center. John Butchergoss with you. Eric Hosmer. And the Kansas City Royals are on their way to the ALCS. This bottom of the third 2-run homer made it 5-1. It was a big hit, really seemed to deflate the Angels. And it's on to play the Orioles. Hosmer with our Pedro Gomez.
What does this moment mean for you? All you first-round draft picks that are on the team, all the expectations, and now look where you are.
It means a lot. You know, we've been working to prepare for this moment for a long time, and you know, everyone deserves this. Everyone in the front office, everyone in the city, in this community. We've been waiting a long time for it, and everyone believes, everyone's feeling good about this.
What is so special about this Royals team this year?
We got that confidence in there that we can do this, and you know, when you got a whole city behind you that believes in you, and a group of guys that are playing all together and believe we can do this, it makes it a lot of fun. And you know, we've been coming in here battling, and you know, we're taking it game by game, and we're doing a pretty good job of that right now.
What's going on? All of a sudden, you guys were last in the majors in home runs, and all of a sudden, you guys are blasting home runs in every game. What's going on?
It's got to be the energy these people are bringing us, man. Everyone out here is in blue. Everyone's on their feet all game. I can't tell you how fun it is to play in this atmosphere.
Baltimore now, what do they present for you guys?
They're a good team. You know, obviously they just did what they did in Detroit, so you know, we got a tough challenge ahead of us. But you know, we're going to enjoy this with the crowd right now. We're going to enjoy this with this city, and you know, we'll worry about Baltimore tomorrow.
Eric, thanks very much. Congratulations. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Pedro. Timing in all things is the most important factor. We talked about the Royals offense. Last in home runs hit, last in walks. You see the difference in the regular season and the playoffs. Runners in scoring position, hitting .333 in the postseason. Timely home runs as well. Royals move on to play the Orioles in the ALCS beginning Friday.